ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Some people are looking to buy their very first home. Others are looking to build. And some are refinancing to make what they have work a little better. But the one thing they all need? A personal guide through the mortgage process. At Pinnacle Bank, our local lenders work closely with you to find the right kind of loan and the best rates possible. Because every path home deserves someone by your side. Find your lender today with Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Life happens. Unexpected bills, tough choices. Your car needs repairs, but your child needs new shoes. What do you decide? At Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, they help families before small problems become breaking points. They connect parents to support so they can keep working, so kids stay secure, and so families stay together. Help Lincoln families thrive. Donate to Nebraska Children and Families Foundation through Give to Lincoln. Mother's Day is on Sunday, May 10th. Do you know what you're getting your mom this year? Stop procrastinating and get her the one thing she wants, a massage. The Body Shop in Lincoln offers all sorts of massages. All you have to do to win this Mother's Day is get Mom a gift card from The Body Shop. Swedish massages, deep tissue massages, hand and foot massages, and so much more. Buy your mom a gift card today at thebodyshoplincoln.com or stop by their office at 56th and O.
Are you craving the ultimate game day experience? Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill has your front row seat. Dive into delicious wings, juicy burgers, and frosty drinks, all served up with TVs covering every inch of the walls so you'll never miss a play. Stop in for their incredible daily specials like $3 tall boys on Mondays, 5 wings for less than $6 on Wednesdays, and $20 beer buckets on Fridays. Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill right by the Lincoln Airport at 3111 Northwest 12th Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in, Nick Whyman alongside Tristan Gomes, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. The Husker Diamond Report is a special day. It's Championship Saturday on the softball diamond in College Park, Maryland. Primarily, the show will focus on softball. We'll talk about baseball in the next hour when we are here from noon to 1 Central Time. But it is all softball, all hands on deck for today with a heavyweight matchup between the two. I mean, that's what Todd Euler compared to a 12-round boxing match today down at College Park, Maryland for the Big Ten Championship. Moved up, if you did not know, last night announced with impending weather in the area, they have moved up the start time for noon Central Time, 1 o'clock if you're down in College Park, Maryland for the Big Ten title. It is 47-7 UCLA, 45-6 Nebraska. Rematch from regular season. Nebraska took 2 of 3 from the Bruins. But we have a loaded show. We're going to talk a lot of softball. If you are getting ready, making your lunch, getting ready, get situated. I know there's a commencement that just wrapped up down the road and you're trying to get out of there and making a quick drive back home to watch some Nebraska softball playing for a conference crown. Join us. Join the conversation, 402-464-5685 on our Sorry Hey Julius text line, or if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or ALLO Channel 961, you can use any of those platforms to chat with us. It is myself, Nick Whyman, alongside Tristan Gomes. As always, we're going to have a short first segment, news flash, because we have a special guest, first time caller, longtime listener of the Diamond Report, DP, owner of the Ticket, will be chiming in live from College Park, Maryland. He'll be calling in around 11:15. We'll take a break then, and then we'll on the other side, we'll see what DP's got. DP's been down there all week. He's been enjoying some good games. Nebraska's had some fun ones. The Michigan one the other day. Indiana last night. Alexis Jensen doing her thing. And now the championship. Tristan, before we go any further, how you doing?
Doing well. It's a great day to be a Husker fan, especially after big win last night for Husker baseball against Iowa down at Haymarket Park. It was a great showing out there from the Husker faithful. And then, of course, what we're going to get into is Championship Saturday, which this Husker softball team has been playing unbelievable throughout this entire tournament. It's come from the pitching side of things. Jordy Fromm, she gets the start in the first matchup against Michigan and gives up that one run early in that first inning, but then really settled in. And Nebraska with 3 errors in that one, but it didn't mess them up whatsoever, as Nebraska continues to just be dominant and do exactly what they need to do to win. They give up 1 run in that first, and then they get to the bottom of the first, they put up 3, and they just never look back. And I think this is going to be an exciting matchup today as they take on the Bruins, as Nebraska comes into this 23-1 in conference play, that only loss coming to UCLA, which Nebraska ended up winning the series in. I think that'll still be a great matchup, and it's a Nebraska team who has been pitching unbelievably throughout this entire tournament, throughout this entire year, and a UCLA team who's coming in with the bats extremely hot. So I think this is going to be a great matchup, and we're just going to see does excellent defense or excellent offense come out on top in this one.
And I mean, you hit it right on the nail there. Nebraska has been really good at weathering the storm in some of these occasions. Michigan had a chance to really do something in that first quarterfinal game. But weathered the storm. Nebraska gets out of it in that inning. Jordy Fromm getting a check swing, strike 3 to get out of that jam. Yesterday, Alexis Jensen, first freshman pitcher to throw a shutout in Big Ten tournament play since Northwestern's Danielle Williams did it back in 2019. She recorded 12 strikeouts and now has 5 games of 10-plus strikeouts. You have those pitchers going at it, and then you have UCLA's offense. UCLA's offense, they are batting .389 as a group so far entering today. Megan Grant yesterday tied the NCAA D1 single-season home run record at 37, which is interesting because Jordan Woolery is on her team.
Mm-hmm.
She's got 33.
Yeah.
This offense, not only throughout the regular season, but throughout the tournament, jumped on Penn State in their first quarterfinal game. Yesterday against Wisconsin, they're kind of like Nebraska. Like, they're going to jump on you. And when they get all the momentum, it's hard to come back from. So you have, I think the first couple innings of this game today between UCLA and Nebraska are going to be very interesting because momentum's a big thing. Nebraska's given up runs in the first inning, but then crawls back and scores 3 or 4 runs. We've seen it against Rutgers, Iowa. You name it. They've done it all year like that, Penn State included. If Nebraska can get to UCLA's pitching, UCLA has one really good pitcher. Taylor Tinsley will more than likely get the start. Haven't seen the starting lineups yet, but more than likely that is who the Bruins are going to be rolling with. She's their number one.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, of the other pitchers who have logged innings this year, the remaining UCLA hurlers have a combined ERA of 6.29. So that's one pitcher. If Nebraska can get to Tinsley, all bets are off for Nebraska's offense. If they can get going against her, who knows what can happen.
Yeah, I think that's what we've seen all year, and I think what makes Nebraska so dominant is you have 2 pitchers in the circle that you are extremely confident in. Alexis Jensen was unbelievable yesterday. 7 innings, just 2 hits, giving up 12 strikeouts, and that's against an Indiana team that averages about 8 runs a game, and she just shut them down from the get-go, and she was unbelievable. And I think heading into today, you got to feel pretty confident that you either got Jordy or you got Alexis Jensen in the circle. And, for UCLA, if Tinsley is struggling early and Nebraska can hop on her early and just get going, get the bats rolling, UCLA doesn't really have someone that can come out of the bullpen that can kind of weather the storm. Like you said, Nebraska is the total opposite, where we're going to see a Jordy Fromm or an Alexis Jensen who is going to dominate. And if, they get into some trouble, you can bring someone out of the pen that's going to be just as good, if not better. So I think Nebraska favors, their matchup going into this one. And I think it'll be a good game just to see how does Nebraska handle some adversity going against a UCLA team that is extremely hot with the bats. It's going to be interesting to see how UCLA starts, because I think this is a UCLA team that really does a good job of getting going from the get-go, like we just talked about. But if Nebraska can slow them down early, and Nebraska has in both games scored in the first inning, if Nebraska can be the one that controls the offense and kind of controls this game, they got to feel pretty confident, especially when you've already beat this team twice.
Exactly. And when they met down here at Bowling State, Nebraska obviously got the win in game 1, losing the Saturday game to UCLA, setting an attendance record at the moment during the season, during that matchup, and then winning the series. Nebraska, obviously, a little bit of a revenge game in a sense, because 23-1, the UCLA is the one in 23-1 in conference play. The thing is, I think that's even better with this is just a good game in general for the softball viewers, not only at Nebraska, not just at UCLA, but just people enjoying the sport. Both these teams, regardless of what happens today, win or lose for Nebraska, win or lose for UCLA. Both teams are going to go their respective ways and going to be hosting a regional to begin the regional play. These two teams, obviously, when I saw the bracket come out, I know Oregon was the 2 seed, but when I saw the bracket, Tristan, I saw UCLA and Nebraska, and I was like, oh, if that's the finals, you're getting your money's worth going down there for a championship game. And DP went down there, obviously saw the first 2 games. Now he's going to be treated to a treat for this game, and I'm really excited. Just got chills talking about it. And the star powers are, like we mentioned Tinsley, we mentioned Megan Grant, we mentioned Jordy Fromm, Samantha Bland. You go down the list, there's so many different contributors. There's so many. It's a star-studded game, and it's just one game. There's no series here. It should be interesting to say the least what it's like. I've seen attendance a little bit. We're a little under 50 minutes to go till first pitch in this one, but key to the game, obviously starting fast. I think momentum is going to be a huge role here because we talk about it all the time between you and me. Momentum in college baseball and college softball is such a huge thing, especially in these games where maybe one run, these two teams, when they play, maybe these two teams even out and the offenses cool down. It's going to come down to, like you said, not making errors, not making critical mistakes, not dropping a fly ball, a sacrifice fly at times. I think first team to score is going to have a very good chance of winning this game just because of the momentum play. And if you have the pitching, like with Nebraska, we talked about the pitching as well. If Jordy Fromm's starting this game, which they haven't come out the lineups yet, but I'm going to assume she is because Jensen threw all that, you can have Jordy throw 5 innings. And then, let's say it's a 2-1 game or a 3-1 ball game. Nebraska and UCLA is a team where they can get a walk and then everything it feels like they put in the air goes over the fence. This entire tournament. I don't know what it is, what's in the air for them, but they feel like a team where I feel like Alexis Jensen could come in and get the final 6 outs. And, it's a big moment for a freshman. We've said it all year, but Alexis Jensen has passed with flying colors every single test she's had, even yesterday. I mean, you're a freshman in a semifinal game in your conference tournament in the Big Ten. You've only lost a handful of games. You can count them on both hands. Just steps up in the moment. And whenever the moment's bigger, she performs at a higher level. I don't know what it is, but it's Mamba mentality from Alexis Jensen.
Yeah, I think as much as she is obviously still a freshman, she's 22-2. She has been absolutely dominant. I think confidence comes from evidence. You have to have the results that, acquire that confidence that you go into the circle and you believe you're better than anyone that you're going against, whoever's in that box. And I think Alexis Jensen has that. As much as she still is a freshman, I don't think she's a freshman much more with the amount of starts she's had, especially against some really good opponents. And so I think in a big game like this could possibly be different for UCLA. I could be wrong. But Nebraska, we say it all the time. They played a really tough schedule to open up the year. And then when they got into the Big Ten play, it was a lot easier for them to say, all right, we know what we can do better. We've played some really good teams, to start out the year. What can we do better? And so we can dominate the Big Ten. And they've done exactly that. They've done exactly what they need to do to win games, to be in control of games. And so when you go into a big game like this, the conference championship, you still feel good about yourself because you've played this UCLA team before. You've played at Texas. You've played at Texas Tech. Alexis Jensen has pitched against some top teams in the country. If she does come in this one, even if it's late in the game for a save opportunity, she's still got to feel pretty confident in herself, especially after 12 Ks yesterday. I think if I threw a complete game shutout with 12 Ks, I would be on cloud 9, and I think I'm the man. And I think she's feeling that exact way, is that when she's on the mound, when she's in the circle, she is the best player on the field. And I think Jordy Fromm feels the same way. And Jordy Fromm extends her on-base streak to now 40 straight games, which is unbelievable. She's hitting leadoff, and I think she's just the perfect player that you have in that leadoff position, the perfect player that has, played in some really tough games throughout her entire career. And if she's in the circle, she's going to be feeling confident. She's the leader that you want for this Husker softball team to, whether she's starting out in the box or she's starting out in the circle, she's going to be the person that I think this Husker team is going to rally behind.
Well, with Jordy Fromm, you mentioned 40 games in a row is hard to do. On-base streak, just getting on base and at the leadoff spot. That's, like you said, the perfect leadoff hitter. Like, you're going to get on with a tough at bat, 3-2. She did that the other day. 3-2 count, fights off a couple pitches and able to get on base. And then behind her, the lineup picks her up. Hannah Kaur, you go down the line, the Kamenzens, you just continue to go down the line. There are the complementary players for Nebraska. I think that is such a huge addition for this roster. So, Tristan, who do you think has a little bit more of nerves on their side in this one? Because Nebraska, obviously, it's a third Big Ten championship they've ever made. UCLA's obviously lost the season series so far. They weren't the regular season champs. Who do you think needs to get off to a better start in this one, especially considering the circumstances where Nebraska has given up a couple runs early, but UCLA like we've seen in the tournament, they're able to put up 10-plus runs in both their games.
Yeah, I think UCLA probably is coming in with a little bit of nerves, and I think pretty much any team that's going to play this Huskers team from now until, hopefully the Women's College World Series is going to be nervous when they're playing this Husker team. And for Nebraska, there's really nothing to lose. I mean, they know they're going to be hosting a regional, and I think they're going to be seated at a higher seed. So if they win that regional, they're going to be hosting a super regional as well. So they got to be feeling pretty good about themselves going into this one. And I think UCLA, on the other hand, they probably know they have to play their best brand of softball if they want to beat this Husker team. So I think it'll be good for Nebraska to go into this one with really nothing to lose. As much as a Big Ten conference championship would be super exciting, they can play pretty loose. They can play pretty free, and I think that's what this Nebraska softball team does best, and there's nothing they need to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to say the least, because I think both teams just have such a unique thing. Well, we're going to take a quick break. As promised, DP is going to give us a call here at 93.7 The Ticket. He's down there live right now from the stadium at College Park, Maryland, home of the Terrapins, UCLA, Nebraska. It will continue, game starting in about 45 minutes. DP on the other side alongside Nick Whyman, Tristan Gomes. We'll be right back. Husker Diamond Report, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
At Planet Fitness, we know how important it is to take care of both your mind and body. That's why now through May 15th, all new members get free massage amenities all month long, so you can reset, recover, and leave feeling stronger than when you came in. Join the club for just $1 down, $15 a month, and get free massage amenities for the month of May. No commitment. Deal ends May 15th. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Love local wine, craft beer, cider, or spirits, or looking for a great non-alcoholic option? Then raise a glass at SIP Nebraska's 13th Anniversary Spring Festival, May 8th and 9th at Mahoney State Park. There's truly something for everyone with unlimited tastings, live music, great food, and unique experiences like skydiving demos, buzzed bingo, goat yoga, and fun lawn games. Plus, explore local artisans and take your favorites home. Make a weekend of it. Lodging is available right at the park. Grab your ticket package now at sipnebraska.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Husker Dime Report, 92.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. As promised, live from College Park, Maryland, we have DP. He's been hanging out down there the last couple of days. Nick Whyman and Tristan Gomes holding down. DP, how's everything going down there with a earlier first pitch time, but pretty big one coming up?
Yeah, this one feels like everything you would imagine it feels like. It's heavyweight bout. It's two titans, two giants. They're very familiar. They like the proximity and how they play. And then things worked out. So the 1 seed and the 3 seed, Oregon kind of stubbed their toe, losing along the way. But UCLA, they showed up today in the blue on blue. And looks like they're ready. Pretty good crowds coming in here, too.
Yeah, I figured both these teams, very established softball programs. They have UCLA, some heavy hitters. The bats have been as advertised. What have you seen out of Nebraska so far? You've been obviously all hands on deck there so far. Saw them against Michigan. Michigan, give them credit. They hung around with Nebraska, gave Nebraska a little bit of scare in that quarterfinal game. And then yesterday with Indiana and Alexis Jensen just continuing to be Alexis Jensen. What have you seen so far out of the Huskers heading into today?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I had to remind I did a call out west, and I said this thing, that Nebraska is Nebraska. They're one pitch at a time. They're grinders. They're gritty. That if you do it from pitching and defense first, that's how games look. Yeah, if you get on a roll, especially in the Big Ten and the elite teams of the Big Ten, it's hard to just kind of have things go your way. So, listen, if a 5-0 win and then a 2-hit, 12 strikeout performance by Jensen, you didn't even have her in the batting lineup. Nebraska looks like Nebraska. They look like the number 1 seed coming into this thing, and I think they're preparing like they're the number 1 seed. Nobody's bigger than them. No play is too big.
DP Tristan here. So you've seen a lot of college baseball, a lot of college softball throughout your time. What makes this Husker softball team different? I mean, you don't go 23-1 just squeaking by teams. You have to be dominant throughout the entire season, and then especially in big games in the conference tournament. What are you seeing out of this Husker softball team that just makes them different?
Well, I mean, you've got 2 of the top 10, maybe top 7 pitchers in the country sitting on your roster. No matter what decision Ron Revelle makes today, she's going to have to sit one of the top 10 pitchers in the country. That's a courtesy and a blessing, but it's also who they are. Plus, you have a star player who shows up in every aspect of the game. She hits like a bomb. She starts the party off offensively. She moves around defensively and makes plays and is the vocal leader for this team. And then they defend up the middle. This Nebraska team defends up the middle. Man, they're good shortstop and second base. And then center field, look, they run down balls. They communicate well. And then offensively, listen, if you're going to get 2 multi-hit games from Samantha Bland in the Big Ten tournament, yeah, you're on a roll. Your mission is good. That leads to success.
DP, with this UCLA team, you look at what they have. Megan Grant yesterday tied the D1 single-season home run record with 37, which is a lot. But then you look down the lineup, they have Jordan Worley, who has 33 to her name as well. That's 2 really solid hitters. This UCLA team hits 389 as a group. What are the keys for Nebraska pitching staff? Because you have Jordy Fromm and Lexus Jensen. What are the kind of keys that kind of slow down the UCLA bats? Because everybody so far in this tournament hasn't been able to find that answer with the way they've been hitting the ball, because it feels like everything they put in the air is flying over the outfield fence.
Well, I mean, down in the zone with movement is the key. It's always down and away in the zone. Miss just off to get swinging strike thirds. But listen, this good pitching beats good hitting in critical games. That's just the way it's been, especially in the Big Ten. So you don't look at their lineup. I think Coach Ravel has been consistent in saying, just win the pitch. Just win the pitch. Make a pitch. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't get cute, because cute will get you beat. But you've got two All-American caliber pitchers. Let them do their work and trust the process. There's no fear. They faced this lineup 3 times. They've done a pretty good job of handling this Bruins lineup. I mean, taking 2 out of 3. And remember, Jensen got 2 wins in the deal. So it'll be interesting. I thought it would be a game time decision on who was going to be in the circle, because Jensen has the 2 wins. There's a part of you, but a part of the legacy is Jordy Fromm and what this game means to her and this Husker team. So,
yeah, the 12 seniors too. I mean, this would mean a lot for them. A lot of them obviously coming from different ways, reuniting in Nebraska. Rhonda Ravel still going for another conference title. UCLA's pitching. Taylor Tinsley has been their number 1 all year. I think getting to her would be a huge advantage, because you look at the rest of the pitching staff, DP, a 6.29 ERA across the board outside of Tinsley. If Nebraska's able to jump on her early, which Nebraska's been able to do on a lot of teams in Big Ten play, like I said, not 23-1 for no reason, I think Nebraska should be in a good spot if they're able to get to UCLA's number 1 here going forward.
Well, Tinsley hasn't had that kind of luck against Nebraska. It hasn't gone her way. In the early games, UCLA scored first. Nebraska swallowed it and got back on it. Tinsley is a top-level pitcher, but she doesn't have the success against Nebraska. There's something about that top 4 in the lineup that are very familiar with. The Camden girls did very well against her. I'm not sure that it's that much of a problem. Listen, Nebraska's playing Nebraska today. I know the lineup from UCLA is daunting, but I'm willing to ride with these 2 young ladies in the circle, and that I think that they will figure out a way how to get the Bruins 3 up and 3 down.
Yeah, DP, I think you said that best, is that Nebraska is playing Nebraska today, and all season long they have played some really tough opponents. And I just want to know, being out there, does it seem like this Nebraska team just is not fazed by anything? Going into a conference championship game, the nerves are going to be high. You're going to get excited. But when Nebraska has played top 10 teams all season long, and watching them throughout this tournament, does it feel like they just have a different kind of mindset to them? They just are composed. Nothing really gets to them.
Well, you're talking about that 12 senior thing. There's that you have 12 grown-ups in a lineup where no moment is too big. They've been here before. There's others that have played in this environment at this level before. Not a big deal to them. And when your leaders and your coaches show comfort, here's the funny thing. Alexis Jensen, I sat next to her in the Thursday game while she was in the bullpen, and she's a comedian. And she is just doing a full 45-minute stand-up, just chill. Like, you know what? This is where I'm supposed to be. This is why I came here. I'm going to enjoy it. This is spectacular. So she has a legend in front of her guiding her. She has one of the best players to ever do it standing next to her. And then these seniors lean on each other. They lean on each other for critical moments. A ball doesn't go your way, not a big deal. Didn't get the call strike that you want, not a big deal. Next pitch. Win the next pitch. That's the story. That's been the story all season. That'll be the story today.
DP, we're about a half an hour from first pitch down there at College Park, Maryland. So the atmosphere so far this week. Obviously, not a lot of Nebraska fans have made the trip out there to the Maryland area. I saw Amy Williams, obviously, there with her daughter being on the team. They showed her on the game yesterday, and, she looked like every softball parent I've seen on the edge of her seat, cheering on her daughter. What's it been like seeing Husker Nation out in full force? Obviously, it is a trip. It's a midweek trip, usually not playing on a Thursday. Obviously, not a guarantee to play on a Friday or Saturday. What's it been like to just see kind of the Husker takeover as they always do on the road, especially for a Big Ten title here?
Well, it's good for Husker fans to see one another. It's good to have other Big Ten fans see Nebraska represent themselves the way they always do. And then, as you said, there was an interesting that Thursday afternoon day. But then you went on Friday night, and then Saturday the clock gets pulled up on you. But I walk into the stadium, and the first person I see, it's Troy Dannon, the athletic director. And we sit and chop it up. He was excited. He was connected. Right? He's connected. He cares about this team, again, enough to show up. And I think it meant a lot for him to go down and talk to the girls. And then he's doing a really good job being the ambassador to this Husker crowd that showed up. I would say that it would be 2-1 Nebraska today when it comes to fan base.
And with that, college softball, this is not just a big game for Nebraska, not just for UCLA's fan base, but I think the sport in general. You have two of the best teams in the country going head-to-head. Both these teams are going to go their separate ways for a regional after this game, regardless of who wins and who loses. What do you think this game means big picture for NCAA softball? Because there might be some people who are just flipping through the channels and run across this game here, noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and wow, they get taken away by what the star power they're seeing. In general, what's this game mean for NCAA softball? Because you're getting some star-studded power. In a neutral site game is very exciting to see.
Well, the way to paint that picture is that all the fans from other schools in the Big Ten are still here. Like, they love the game, and they know that this matchup will be worthy of watching and eyes on. There is a GOAT in the building. When you realize that UCLA brings in one of the best to ever play it, and her love for the history of it, it's being communicated. It's been put on ESPN. It's been talked about on Fox. All of social media is talking about it. Listen, you built the game up. It now has exposure. Think volleyball, that transition that happened, softball is in its transition. Jordy Fromm and the Huskers are a part of it as much as UCLA and the Bruins.
Yeah, sticking with Jordy Fromm, she's been unbelievable in the circle and then obviously at the plate, hitting leadoff pretty much this entire season. What do you think her leadership to this team means? And have you seen it, displayed all tournament long? Because I feel like she's someone who, like you said, it's one pitch at a time. Doesn't go your way, you're moving on to the next one. You're still feeling confident. And I feel like she instills that in the rest of the team and just gets the best out of her teammates. Have you seen her leadership on display so far in this tournament?
Yeah, good leadership is loud, and it's necessary. And no matter whether they're in the dugout, on the on-deck circle, in the outfield, from the circle, Jordy's vocal about what is happening around her, and she wants to impact it. Listen, Jensen can easily say one of the big reasons why she's having this success is Jordy Fromm. If you talk about the players up the lineup, it's pretty nice to have the Shohei Ohtani of women's college softball at the top of your lineup and available on the bump to just strike people out. So she's been effective. She's been active in leadership. But I think by now they are so single-focused, pitch by pitch, do what you do. I think she's just the loudest proponent of it.
DP, before you let you go, final thoughts before this one goes down. You have 47-7 UCLA, 45-6 Nebraska. Both teams only, 13 losses on the season in total between the two teams. It's ironic they both played here 2 out of 3 Nebraska to them. Kind of some final thoughts and what you're looking to see out of this one, because everybody's getting their money's worth down there. Like you said, the people who are coming down, obviously teams who are eliminated are going to get to see a show, a heavyweight fight, a 12-round boxing match. You get to see it all in the next 2.5 hours down there in College Park, Maryland. What are some final thoughts before we let you go?
Well, getting hot in tournament play. When you're facing some of the best teams in the country, and that's what Big Ten softball is. You're facing daily some of the best teams in the country. But this Husker team, that's 20 straight wins in a row. That's having the process. That's the second monumental streak in a season. They win. This Husker team wins. A 20-game win streak is what they bring into it. No matter who they're facing on the other side, they feel like they belong, they're the better team on the field, and that they know how to get results. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for Coach Ravel, the staff. They're having a great time running. I think she's enjoying herself. Her fist pumps for Alexis Jensen yesterday were epic. So it rivaled Tiger Woods in the fist pump. Coach Ravel went after it. It was pretty cool stuff.
All right, DP, we'll let you get going. Under half an hour. Hopefully they get you a good one. I assume it'll be a good one. So we'll let you go. Thanks for hopping on. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Go Big Red.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Thank you, DP, for hopping in. He hit it on the nail. Pretty good game across the board. It should be between Nebraska and UCLA. Tristan, we're going to take a break here in a second, but anything to build off of what DP had. And thanks, DP, again, for spending 10, 15 minutes of time calling in. Obviously, he's in the midst of getting ready for cover a game. Overall, just some final thoughts on what DP touched on.
Yeah, there's no one that knows ball like DP, and no one I think that can speak about teams as well as DP does. And I think he did a great job of just highlighting this Husker softball team and how many leaders they have, how Jordy Fromm has been an exceptional leader throughout the entire season, but also just how their seniors have really stepped up. And when you go into a game like this, they are just so composed. And I think DP just said watching them throughout this entire tournament is it's next pitch mentality. If something doesn't go your way, so what? You move on. I think this Husker team does a great job of that. And heading into a Big Ten title like we got today, that's when it's needed most, because they're going against a good UCLA team. It's not all going to go your way. And I think DP is going to be in for a treat out there, and I'm excited to watch it back here at the station.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of games. We'll have it on for sure here. Lineup's officially out. UCLA posting theirs. You have Megan Grant in right field, followed by Jordan Wordley in batting third and playing first base in this one. As mentioned, Taylor Tinsley will be in the circle for UCLA. So that's the UCLA lineup. Not really any surprises there. Just kind of assume that's what the lineup is going to be. Nebraska is yet to post theirs, but I assume nothing is going to be really changed if Jordy Fromm probably batting the top of the order across the board as Nebraska gears up for this game. Bill and Bennett says DP sounds like he's loving every minute of this. He's back home pretty much in the back home area. He's gotten some pretty good games across the board. We mentioned the game on Thursday, a rare day game for them during that time against Michigan, against a team. Michigan, give them credit. I still think, a team who had a couple errors early were able to kind of battle that storm and get out of that one. You had that game. Then yesterday, a shutout win. You saw Alexis Jensen be Alexis Jensen and cool, calm, and collected as she is. And then obviously today you get the big one. And that's what this is. That's what the Big Ten Conference is. You get the heavyweight fights. You're getting that between Nebraska and UCLA here in the next 20-ish minutes. Again, UCLA 47-7, Nebraska 45-6. If you want to watch that game, it'll be on noon Central Time on the Big Ten Network. As always, you can listen to us here. That is why we're here. Pretty good viewership as well for tuning in for this pregame. That was not really supposed to be pregame at the beginning, but that's what it turns into. As well, if you're looking to listen after the game, you can tune in here after the final out of the Big Ten Championship, regardless of what the result is. Tristan and I will be holding it down, and if you want to have any questions, and we'll talk about the big picture going forward as postseason play will continue. So we'll take our last break of the show. We'll dive into kind of the final thoughts before the Big Ten Softball Championship gets underway. Nick Whyman and Tristan Gomes, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Greens Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Greens Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC service for your business, building, or even your home, so it can run without all those unwanted interruptions. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
When Nebraska businesses win, we all win. And the Nebraska Chamber is helping make that happen. Tackling the tough stuff like job creation, affordable and accessible childcare, and building a stronger workforce. We're stepping up so local businesses can step forward. If you want to see Nebraska keep growing, keep competing, and keep winning, get connected with the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Learn more at nechamber.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a great spring it has been here. We've had record sales happening at Koppel. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is giving out employee pricing on select new models. Yes, you heard that right. Employee pricing is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. So please stop on in the store and see the team or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Some rebates to dealer.
We have 2 boys, so we needed more space. We lived in a townhouse, so we decided to build.
Casey Bowman and her husband Joe built their first home with us. This is Bob Benish of Aspen Builders. Working with the Bowmans was fantastic.
After the first meeting, we really liked them as people.
I was really skeptical about the whole building process, more so than Joe was, but they explained everything before it happened. If there were problems or issues along the way, they called and explained everything. They just really helped ease my mind.
They were really good about giving us options as far as what fit in the budget, what didn't fit in the budget. They have a designer, Rachel.
She was amazing. She was very helpful in making sure that our house turned out good. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change the lot. I wouldn't change colors. I love everything about it. Everything. It's perfect for us.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, Husker Diamond Report. Thank you, DP, as always, for calling in. He'll be getting some social media coverage down there at College Park, Maryland for the Big Ten Softball Championship between UCLA and Nebraska. Check any of our social medias throughout the entire day. He'll be down there getting some coverage for us, as always. So nice for him to be kind of back home on the East Coast, the DMV, as they call it. Do you know what that stands for down there?
Is it DC, Maryland, Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea that's what it stood for.
You know what's crazy? Do you know what RDL stands for?
RDL?
Like the lift?
No.
All right. People don't make fun of me for this. So it's Romanian deadlift. I was creating a new workout plan for myself, and it said Romanian deadlift. I was like, what's Romanian deadlift? Looked it up, and I was like, oh, RDL. I thought it was reach down low for the longest time. And I'd told a few of my buddies that, and they thought I was a complete idiot.
So when I heard DMV, I always hear it like when the Commanders are playing, when the Wizards are playing in the Washington area and the Nationals. It's like, oh, they're going to be down the DMV. I think the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Yeah, the last place you ever want to be. You're like, why are they playing in the DMV? That sounds miserable.
I think DMV, and I can't tell you the last time. Like, whenever I have to renew my license or plates or whatever, I do it online because I never want to go to the DMV because you've got to get there right away or else you're going to be waiting in line. I think the one time I went, I think it was to get my learner's permit. My mom took me. I think I was like 16 at the time or whatever. And we got there like at 7 a.m. and there was already a line out the building.
Yeah.
So
the worst place to be. Isn't DeMornay from the DMV?
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Shout out DeMornay.
He knows a couple of players. I wanted to talk to Trace McSorley because he knows Trace McSorley pretty well. So I wanted to talk to him. Obviously famous for a meme song, but Trace McSorley, pretty good quarterback during his time in Penn State playing with Saquon Barkley. But on the other side, Husker Diamond Report, Nick Whyman alongside Tristan Gomes here for a couple more minutes as Husker softball's gearing up here to the first pitch in College Park, Maryland in the DMV against UCLA. I mean, this game, we've said it enough. It's two of the best teams in the country. It's the winning streak for Nebraska, 23-1. Their one loss in conference play comes in this game. Nebraska, I think the biggest thing is for Nebraska, the thing I like about them in this game is they've kind of been challenged facing adversity in this tournament compared to UCLA. Nebraska, Michigan, like I said, they had the bases loaded. Jordy Fromm in the circle had a chance to potentially take the lead with maybe a gapper late in that ball game, and Jordy Fromm gets a check swing strike 3 to get out of it, and Nebraska ends up winning that game. Indiana, it wasn't a complete blowout for the longest time. Indiana just got a couple of base runners, had a bunt single to break up the no-hitter in the third inning in that one after Alexis Jensen struck out 9 batters through 4 innings. But it felt like Indiana, if they could have got the bats going, maybe it's a game. But compared to UCLA, who's just been off and running after 1 inning, if Nebraska is able to limit UCLA's offense and UCLA put them in a team where they've played in the stadium 2 days in a row, just like Nebraska, they're a team where they haven't really faced much adversity or faced much of a challenge just because they played a Penn State team who upset their way through the play-in round, and they played a Wisconsin team who upset their way through the quarterfinals. So they've played obviously lesser competition, which it is the Big Ten. There's no such thing as really lesser competition, but by the rankings say Nebraska's had a tougher road compared to the Bruins of UCLA.
Yeah, I think going into this, UCLA has been dominant so far. They've taken care of business in their 2 wins to get to the conference championship, but they haven't faced an Alexis Jensen or Jordy Fromm in the circle yet. So I think as great as their offense has been, it's going to be a tough matchup for UCLA, and they do have some home run hitters, but we've seen Nebraska and Alexis Jensen specifically shut down this UCLA team before. So I think going into this one, I think Nebraska has the upper hand, just knowing that they're still going to hit. Nebraska is still averaging over 5 runs a game, and they continuously find ways to score, and they do it in a plethora of ways. They'll hit the long ball, but also they do a great job of small ball. Just yesterday, Hannah Cora with a bunt single gets on, and then we get a double in the gap from Hannah Camus, and it just works out for the Huskers. So I think they got to be feeling pretty confident in this one. And for Nebraska, DP said it best. Nebraska is playing against Nebraska. If they play their brand of softball, I think they can beat anyone in the country, and they've already shown that. And so going into this one, I think it's going to be important for Nebraska to just stay composed. Know you've played in some big games already, and just play your brand of softball against a UCLA team who knows that they are the underdog in this one, and they're going to have to play exceptional if they want to beat the Huskers.
And Nebraska has been a long time since they've lost a game. 20 straight, the longest winning streak in the nation. Thinking big picture here before we wrap up this hour, and we'll continue the show on the other side. Might as well. We haven't talked Husker baseball yet. I know a lot of people are waiting to hear about Nebraska baseball beating Iowa. not because not only they beat Iowa, but they got back on track after getting swept against Ohio State and Columbus, Ohio. The biggest thing I think with Nebraska softball in this one is the big picture. Like even if you lose this game, you're moving on to the regional. You're going to be hosting a game at Bullen Stadium again. Same goes to say for UCLA. They're going to head back home to Los Angeles. Win or lose this game, they're going to be hosting a regional. The biggest thing for Nebraska is, they're the number 2 seed in the nation right now. They're going to be one of the 16 host sites. However, is there a chance if they win this game, are they the number 1 overall seed entering regional play? Because we talked about the SEC. Oklahoma obviously has been the cream of the crop in college softball for a decade now. They've been really good. Obviously, Jordy Fromm coming from there. A couple other players have been able to make a career out of this sport coming from there. They obviously have home field advantage when they get to the Women's College World Series playing in Oklahoma City, not too far away from Norman. But Oklahoma lost in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament to Georgia. So maybe, I don't know. I hate punishing teams for playing extra games, especially a team like Oklahoma, who, you could flip-flop them in Nebraska. I don't think anybody's going to bat an eye. But does this game potentially mean something for Nebraska where if you win this game, are you the number 1 seed in the nation entering regional play?
Yeah, I think there's easily a conversation for that. And, Oklahoma does lose early in that SEC tournament, but their conference schedule is probably a lot tougher than Nebraska's. But then you look at Nebraska's non-conference, and they're playing the best teams in the country, and they're beating teams. They beat Texas Tech. They beat Texas. And so Nebraska, a team that wins this one, and they're on a 21-game winning streak, I think there's easily a conversation for Nebraska to be that number 1 overall seed. Is Nebraska really thinking about that or dead set on it? I don't think so. I think it's a great accomplishment to be the 1 seed, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. And maybe if you're in Nebraska, you just say, we're fine being the 2 seed. We'll, play whoever we need to play, and it's not going to make too big of a difference. So as exciting as it would be to be the 1 seed, maybe that adds a little bit of added pressure. But for Nebraska, I think it's just focusing on today. They've, played 1 game at a time the entire season. And if you get that 1 seed, you're feeling very confident in yourself and just the resume that you've put on this entire season. But it still comes down to, playing in 1 game at a time. I think there is a conversation for Nebraska to be the number 1 overall seed if they do come out on top against UCLA today.
Minutes away from first pitch. If you're driving back from a commencement ceremony, there was one just down the road at Pinnacle Bank Arena at 9 a.m. Don't know how long commencement goes. Mine was during spring of 2021. It was on the football field. Wasn't very long because it was all the COVID protocols. So I don't know, probably longer one today, depending on your guest speaker as well. But if you're driving back from that or going out and about, getting your lunch, making your lunch, you might be listening as well on there on the Ticket app across our social media as well. Game starting in a couple of minutes. Tristan, before we take our final break, what do you think the keys are for not only Nebraska, but also UCLA? Because UCLA, I'm not going to put them down. They are as advertised. They've been a really good softball school, regardless of conference, whether it's the Pac-10, the Pac-12, or the Big Ten Conference now for the last couple of years. What are some keys you think for both sides to get this game going, as the 2026 Big Ten Softball Championship is one of the biggest ones, I think, in conference history, because you look at the stature of the two teams, the accomplishments, the resumes, the RPIs. What are just the big takeaways from both teams entering today's game?
Yeah, I think for Nebraska, you're going against a high-powered offense. And so in the circle, and then just on the defensive side, it's, we talk about weathering the storm all the time and just, not allowing big innings. So I think if, UCLA does hit a long ball or they get a double in the gap or string together a few hits, it's just making sure that you slow down, you don't get too ahead of yourself, and just keep your composure, which Nebraska has done all season long. Because this UCLA team, they're not going to go down easy. They're going to go down swinging. And they're a great offense. And then for UCLA, on the other hand, you're going to have some really quality at bats, try to work some walks in. Like I said, for Nebraska, it's limit the walks, limit the errors, play good defense. And then, for UCLA, they have to have a great day, at the plate against some really tough pitching, whether it's Jensen, whether it's Fromm. And I think for UCLA, you have to play your best brand of softball if you want to beat this Huskers team.
Couple of chats if you'd love to continue the conversation. 402-464-5685. Craig in the chat says, no, Nebraska will not be number 1 because the Tennessee pitcher, talking about Carolyn Pickens, was a problem for Nebraska last year, and the SEC might just be tougher.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yes, the SEC softball conference is loaded. Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Texas. I think I said Texas twice, but they're really good. And Nebraska does have wins over Texas A&M this season. Married another classic and then beat Texas. Lost a game to them early in the year, then beat them where they go. Tennessee, yes, got the best in Nebraska in a very low scoring affair. And that was last year. This team is much different than the Nebraska team last year. And I think you can't just look at it by year. Bill and Bennett says he just thinks the pitching will make the difference for Nebraska in this game today. I've been thinking that all along. Obviously, Taylor Tinsley is the pitcher for UCLA. She got roughed up against Nebraska a couple of weeks ago during that game here at Bullen Stadium. Nebraska just has the 1-2 combo. Like I said, they can go with Jordy Fromm for 5 innings, 6 innings. Then not many teams in the country can bring out an Alexis Jensen-type pitcher to record the final 3 outs and have a fresh arm. Obviously, she threw shutout yesterday, but softball's not like baseball where you can throw 7 innings and come back the next day and potentially come out for a save out of the bullpen. So that just adds another layer across the board. Lineup's not officially out yet, but I'm trying to get to see who Nebraska is officially going with for this one. But as mentioned, UCLA will be going with Taylor Tinsley. I think, yes, the SEC softball conference is good. I think this is a conversation we need to have to close out this hour of the show. Yes, Carolyn Pickens is good. Tennessee's good. Texas is good. A&M's good. Alabama, they're another one who's having a phenomenal season. I mean, it won't really matter where you are at that point. Like, yes, you're the 1 seed overall in college softball going into postseason play. You're the number 2 seed. You still have to win multiple games in regional, double elim format there, and then you still have to win 2 games in a super regional. Where Nebraska, I mean, at this point would be the 2 versus 15 or whoever gets out of that other 15 seed. If Nebraska get through that regional, you still have to win X amount of games again, regardless of where you are. And then once you get to the Women's College World Series, even with the Men's College World Series, you wipe the slate clean, records, you throw them out the window. It's just the best 8 teams, and the 8 teams there earn their way to get there, regardless if they were the 1, regardless if they're a 2, regardless if they're a mid-major. We've seen it time and time again. And I think regardless of what the ranking is next to your name, you're still playing for yourself, playing with no fear, just like the Nebraska team is.
Yeah, and for Nebraska, like I said, that 1 seed, as cool as it would be, it doesn't mean a whole bunch because Nebraska's put themselves in a position where they're going to be hosting a regional for sure. And then also in a position where if they, make it out on top of that regional, which playing at Bullen Stadium, I think there's going to be so many fans. I think the Husker faithful are going to show out for this Husker softball team, and it's going to be an unbelievable environment, a great home environment. And then you make it out of that regional, and you're also hosting a super, which Nebraska had to head out to Tennessee last year, which was a tough regional play-in, going against Pickens. It wasn't easy, and I think playing at home for a regional and a super regional sets Nebraska up for success. So 1, 2, 3, whatever. It doesn't matter what Nebraska is. They're just going to take this game today and see what the selections committee has to say tomorrow.
Well, I think we have a couple more minutes till first pitch. Nebraska, UCLA starting in 4 minutes. Big Ten Network. Also, you could just stick it out and listen to us. We're going to continue. We're going to continue the Diamond Report 2-hour special. Why not? For the 2 hours for 2 solid teams, I guess is the way to put it. So we're going to go to break. After this one, we'll come back. We'll reset. This is the first 3 innings of the game. We have the 4, 5, and 6 inning coming up for this, and then after the softball game, the final stretch, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, as we will talk about the Husker softball game, maybe some Husker baseball as well. They're throwing first pitch soon. Their bus is just down the road. I drove by it on my way here. Did you see it over there?
I did see it. Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't hallucinating. I'm not sleep deprived. So we'll be back. Husker Diamond Report, hour 2 coming up next. 92.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You should treat mom to some barbecue. At Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, we think award-winning moms deserve award-winning barbecue without having to lift a finger. We invite you and your family to gather around our table on Mother's Day for Hog Wild slow smoke favorites, or place an order to go online at gohogwild.com for a spring picnic where mom is the guest of honor. We look forward to seeing you this Mother's Day. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
I am Harrison Arns, producer of Ticket Weeknights and Weekends right here at 93.7 The Ticket. My favorite things to do in downtown Lincoln are checking out all the local sports events, whether it's basketball, football, volleyball, or even Lincoln Stars hockey. I enjoy it all because I get to experience one of the best sports communities in the country.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
At Cedars, we're here to make sure that kids have the safety and stability that every child deserves, where they're protected and where they feel safe. You make this possible. Today, more than ever, we need your support to be here for kids who have nowhere else to call home. Now through May 28th, make a big impact through Give to Lincoln. Give to Cedars now at givetolincoln.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Looking for the right utility tractor for your acreage? Find it at Landmark Implement. Shop our selection of used John Deere compact tractors from 1 through 5 series with the power and versatility to track mowing, yard work, snow removal, and more. For a limited time, get 2.9% financing for 36 months, followed by 6.2% for 24 months with approved credit. We've got the right fit for your property and your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or visit us online at landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are you craving the ultimate game day experience? Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill has your front row seat. Dive into delicious wings, juicy burgers, and frosty drinks, all served up with TVs covering every inch of the walls so you'll never miss a play. Stop in for their incredible daily specials like $3 tall boys on Mondays, 5 wings for less than $6 on Wednesdays, and $20 beer buckets on Fridays. Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill right by the Lincoln Airport at 3111 Northwest 12th Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And we're back. Nick Whyman and Tristan Gomes holding it down here. Noon Central Time, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Noon Central Time is important because out on the East Coast at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Nebraska softball gearing up to face UCLA in the battle of the top teams from the Big Ten Conference for the Big Ten tournament crown in College Park, Maryland. First pitch come up here in a matter of moments if you're watching on there. If not, we're down here at 1040 O Street holding it down. Husker Dime Report, Hour 2. A special edition. We'll have another one later after the game as well, around the 3 o'clock hour to wrap up everything with the Big Ten softball tournament. Maybe some Husker baseball talk as well. But during the break, I was talking to Tristan. I had a little bit of a trivia for you for UCLA softball. What other multi-sport athlete at UCLA, she played softball and basketball? Let's see how much you know about your multi-sport athletes at the collegiate level. She recently played softball and basketball for the Bruins. Who is she?
Oh, gosh.
Man, this is tough. Most recent, very recent. Very recent.
Oh, gosh. I have an idea, but I don't think it's right.
Throw it out. I'll tell you.
Does she have a brother that's in the NBA?
She does.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Is it Jaquez or...
Gabrielle Jaquez.
Jaquez, yes.
Jaime Jaquez's sister.
Yep.
So she plays primarily basketball, just won the UCLA, won them the women's national championship in college basketball, now playing in the WNBA with the Chicago Sky. They started their season already. So imagine, a month ago, they just wrapped up college basketball. Now you're already playing regular season basketball at the professional level. So she played softball she's not playing this year, obviously, but she played softball with UCLA. She wouldn't really hit a whole lot or pitch, but she was a pinch runner because she was fast. They bring her in as pinch runner in a late game situation where you could steal bases because obviously, if you're a point guard or guard, not the biggest guard out there as well, you're able to steal bases across the board. So I just found that interesting because Nebraska has that with Kennedy Williams, obviously plays basketball with Nebraska, Amy Williams' daughter. And now, she's been pinch running the last couple of days as well. I know they showed her on the broadcast yesterday and Amy Williams was sitting there like any softball mom I've ever seen on the edge of her seat. So game just starting right now. UCLA in their blue uniforms. Great look. I love the UCLA blue uniforms, the gold trim. Nebraska in the pinstripe red. Jordy Fromm in the circle, and then Taylor Tinsley will be in the circle for the Bruins. That game starting right now. 0-2 pitch, first inning, and Jordy Fromm is in a battle as this game goes underway. We'll update you throughout the entire show, but Nick Whyman, Tristan Gomes, Husker Dime Report. We talked a full hour of softball as a whole, DP calling in before that game gets underway. Now we talk about the Diamond just down the road. Nebraska baseball, obviously, last time we talked, it was, they lose one game to Ohio State. They just got to weather the storm. There's last couple of Fridays where they've lost Friday games. Illinois. The last time we talked about a win on a Friday was the USC comeback win. And then since then, it's been a lot of Friday losses and just weathering the storm. They did that against Illinois, winning 2 of 3 there. And then last weekend, we thought, okay, Ohio State used their best pitcher. Nebraska probably weathered the storm and was able to win 2 of 3. Well, that didn't happen. They ended up getting swept for the first time in Big Ten play this year to a 500 Buckeyes team who played a great weekend of baseball. But Nebraska comes back home, played conference rivals, Iowa, and made a statement, a 10-0 win in 8 innings across the board, everything clicking all cylinders for Nebraska. Where do you want to start with this, Tristan? Because we can go offense, we can go defense, we can go pitching. Where do we want to go?
Yeah, let's start with Carson Yassa. I feel like he has established himself as that Friday night guy. Even though they lost to Ohio State, he still pitched an absolute gem against the Buckeyes. And then coming into this week, I feel like there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of conversation about, this starting pitching rotation. And what is Nebraska going to do? Ty Horn back on the bump today. He earned his way back into that starting rotation. And so you're just curious is going into the last few weeks of Big Ten regular season and then getting into Big Ten tournament play and then getting into a regional, having just some consistency and knowing what your role is makes it a lot easier to go out there and just perform. And I think Carson Yassa has done an unbelievable job all season long on Saturdays. He gets the opportunity on Friday last week, another opportunity yesterday, and got himself into a little bit of a jam in that first inning, got his way out of it, was in a few other jams, had some runners on base, and it seemed like the one thing I love about Carson Yassa, and I think a lot of big-time pitchers have this, is just that strikeout ability, is when you really need a strikeout. It's 1 out, runners in scoring position. Offense is just trying to put a ball in play. Iowa left so many guys on base yesterday just because Yassa had that stuff. He had that 12-6 that was really working for him yesterday, and then he was throwing his fastball up in the zone that Iowa just could not catch up on. And he goes 7 innings, just gives up 2 hits, 2 walks, and then 9 strikeouts. He was dominant. And I think if you're a Husker fan, if you're just on the Husker baseball team and coaching staff, you're feeling really confident that you have your Friday guy.
And yeah, he was a little shaky at times to begin the game, but was able to get out of it. And then from there on out, he was able to limit the Hawkeyes' offense in that one. If you love to join the conversation, if you're watching the softball game, if you're listening to us, whether you're listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Outlet Channel 961, or on obviously the Ticket app as well, as along with the dial. Yeah, Carson Yassa, as advertised. Coming into the year, we expected him to be a guy who was going to step up. I figured, what he was able to build off the last couple of years and be that 1-2 combo with Ty Horn potentially. But Ty Horn obviously moves to the bullpen. Kind of a big shakeup in the final weeks of regular season play. And Carson Yassa stayed as that Saturday guy, and I kind of thought maybe he should be the Friday guy. Maybe, maybe he's just settled in as the Saturday guy because routine. It's a routine to be that guy and that pitcher for your set days and have any days off in between. He moves to Fridays, and I think it's the right move. It clearly is. Look what he's been able to do throughout the season of work against some of the best hitters. He's gone up against the best pitcher on the other side, more than likely for the other team he's facing. And for a guy like him, look at the rise of Carson Yassa, a guy who came in as a freshman and he had his freshman moments. And those are those big moments. You obviously, I love to bring it back to you. You obviously played college baseball, Cal State Fullerton, and Portland. The freshman moments, they are a thing. I know it's not just cliche. With you, obviously, you had a freshman class there. What are those freshman moments like where you obviously come in? It's a lot different than high school. You're obviously playing Millard West during the time, make the trip out west, play out there. And then you have a moment like that where like, wow, I'm playing college baseball. And then, oh, welcome to college baseball, young man. And you struggle out there. And how do you let that not get to you? Because Carson Yassa had that when he first came in, and he didn't let that first couple of outings of his career at the collegiate level define him.
Yeah, I think as a freshman, it's always tough, especially if you're playing at the Division I level. You usually go from being a big fish in a small pond to being a small fish in a ginormous pond. And you're competing with guys who have played a lot of college baseball. And I can only speak from a hitter's point of view, but talking to a few pitchers, it's crazy how nervous you get, because when you're a pitcher and you're out there on the mound, you have the whole dugout that wants you to succeed. You have the whole 8 guys behind you and the catcher that all wants you to succeed. And so there's a lot of pressure that I think guys put on themselves, and it's understandably so. But once you get to that point where you realize it's not life or death, when you realize if I walk a guy or give up a home run or have a bad outing and you don't let it define you, then it makes it a lot easier to go out there and just perform. And I think we already knew that after last year that, Carson Yassa has the stuff. He's always been a guy that has had great velocity. And then going into this year, I just heard about him during inter squads throughout the fall, throughout the preseason in the spring. He was just a guy that, hitters for this Nebraska team struggled against in inter squads, and his command was great. He wasn't walking as many guys. And then going into this season, he's been the most consistent of guys on this pitching staff. So I think it's just, you live and you learn, and you can either take it 2 ways. You can take it and lose confidence when you're struggling as a freshman, or you can learn from it and go, all right, we're going to bounce back, and I know what I need to do better. And Carson Yasta has stepped up unbelievably this year.
And I remember those conversations to start the year where people were kind of throwing his name out there as a guy who's going to potentially fill the rotational role, be a guy who's going to take on a bigger role as the 2026 season began. And I mean, yeah, he's passed with flying colors so far. He's been strikeout machine. Obviously, he got in a little bit of trouble last night, but didn't let that first inning define him. Only 2 hits in total. Nebraska ends up winning 10-0 in 8 innings, 10 runs, 12 hits, and an error for the Huskers. On the other side, Iowa, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors to the name. Nebraska now 35-14 on the season, 18-7 in Big Ten play. We're on that home stretch here. I can't believe we're already there. We're in the middle of May already. It feels like just the other day we were starting the Husker Diamond Report, and we're like, Nebraska's playing in Texas and playing against Auburn. Big test coming up against Auburn. And there wasn't really much midweek games at that point. And here they are, 35-14, having a very successful season. Obviously, 25th in the nation. Yesterday, obviously, the long ball helped them in a long ways to get them over the hump and win that game at the end. And broken over, Joshua Orbeek has an RBI single, RBI bunt single off the bat of Brett Stokes. Those guys continue to do their thing. Back-to-back home runs to begin the bottom of the 8th inning to clinch that one and give Nebraska game 1 of 3 against the Hawkeyes. In this one on Friday, geared up for today, 2:00 start, Big Ten Plus for this one. Senior day, pretty big day for them. With this Nebraska team, I think big picture for here would be just the offense. Like we saw the offense against USC light up the scoreboard again here at Hawks Field at Haymarket Park. Not just light it up, but they exploded. It was a busy day for the scoreboard operator. Then they go out to Ohio State, and the offense was suspect at best. It was a struggle. But they didn't let that weekend define them. And they come back here, score 10 runs on Iowa. I assume they were pretty antsy to get back out there after getting swept by Ohio State because they had a full week to think about what happened there in Columbus. Come back, put up a 10 spot on Iowa, and get back to where Nebraska was doing Nebraska things on the diamond.
Yeah, I think from a hitting standpoint, it's easy after a tough weekend like you had in Columbus to feel sorry for yourself or, ask the questions like, what's going on? There's so many times as a hitter that I'll be honest is things just aren't going your well. And you're just asking like, what am I doing wrong? Like you just feel like nothing is going your way. You can't figure anything out. You're thinking so much about your mechanics. But I think when you have a veteran group like this Husker team, you step into the box again. You go, I've had success before. There's evidence that I've had success. I've seen the results. I just need to get back to that, mindset and that frame. And so I think that's exactly what Nebraska did yesterday. And I think Nebraska is at their best when they're continuing to just apply pressure to other teams. I mean, you score in the second, the third, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth. I mean, that's a tough way to win a ball game if you're the opposing team, is when the team is just chipping away, continue to get more and more runs. And yeah, you end the game in the 8th inning with Butenbach home run, and then Dylan Carey with what you could call a walk-off run rule home run, which I'll count it as a walk-off.
It is.
Ended the game. So pretty cool. And yeah, I think the guys that, maybe struggled a little bit in Columbus, you saw the veteran aspect of them come back out. Dylan Carey with 2 hits yesterday, Mac Moyer with 2 hits yesterday, Overbeek with 2. So, I mean, you ended the game with 12 hits compared to just Iowa's 2. And for Nebraska, I think the best part of it is you didn't have to go too deep into the bullpen. Caleb Clark comes in, hits 2 batters, but gets 2 outs. And then Tucker Timmering comes in. He gets a strikeout. And then Nebraska ends it in the bottom of the 8th. So going into Saturday, an Iowa team who had to pitch a plethora of pitchers that none of them really did well. And you're going into Saturday with Ty Horn, who I think he's getting his confidence back. And you expect him to have a good day on the bump.
Thunder Collins in the chat. If you'd love to be a part of the conversation, if you're watching the Husker game, listening to us, or either or maybe both. I don't know. Maybe you're a multitasker and you need to listen to something while you watch the game on mute or whatever the case is. Maybe you're coming back from commencement. I saw some graduates walking by. It looks like that must have gotten over. Maybe. I don't know. It depends what you were doing on this Saturday. But it is graduation season. You're driving to a graduation as well. If you'd love to be part of the conversation, 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman Julius text line. Or if you're watching us on our streaming platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Allo Channel 961. Thunder Collins says he took his oldest to the game last night at Hawks Field Haymarket Park. He said Carson Yasta looked a little shaky in the first couple innings, as we mentioned, but he worked his way out of a couple of jams early and then settled in after that. Back-to-back home runs to include Butenbach's out of the park. No doubter, was awesome to witness. Yeah, I mean, it was fireworks Friday at the park, but the fireworks came off the Husker bats and, back-to-back home runs to cap off the game and pick up that win. And I was talking about it earlier with Todd. So, like I said, I wasn't hallucinating when I was coming down here. I saw the Iowa bus parked out just down the road where they're staying for the week. And it's a team who just lost 10-0. They just got, obviously shell-shocked with only 2 hits. Didn't do much. Nothing really went their way yesterday. And they didn't have any errors, I guess. That's one bright spot, but that don't count. That don't win you ball games if you're giving up 10 runs. That's a group who probably didn't sleep well last night. They come in here, they get, routed by their conference rival, and now they got to wake up today, and they're probably heading down there, probably right down there as we speak right now. And they're going to be playing a team that's looking to pull off a sweep and get back wins after they got beat by Ohio State. From your standpoint, you've been a part of those trips where maybe game one doesn't go well, 10-0. What's it like settling in back at the hotel and potentially making that drive back down? We talked about it before, but a game like this is an Iowa team where, they're not Nebraska's calling card where you're going to 35-14. They're a team that needs wins this time of year. And that puts a little bit of pressure on you as you lay your head down on the pillow and go to sleep tonight, wake up the next day for another ball game.
Yeah, it's always tough when you go on the road and your whole reason that you're on the road is to play baseball. And when that first game really doesn't go your way, you get walked off. You're walking off the field going, oh, gosh, we got absolutely boat race. Like, that was terrible. You head back to the hotel and you have to try to just flip that switch and go, all right, let's get ready for tomorrow. But in the back of your head, you look at this Husker lineup and you go, wow, they hit today. Like, this team is good. I think it's almost easier when you do lose on a Friday night on the road and it's a tough game and you go from being able to, go, okay, if we just did these few little things right, we would have been fine. We would have, gotten through it. We would have been okay. But when you lose 10-0, you are not feeling confident going into that next day. And so I think Iowa coming in this one has to, be feeling like they're struggling a little bit. And for Nebraska, you just go, that's our brand of baseball. And it's a beautiful day at Haymarket Park today. Go out, support the Huskers, because I think it's going to be an exceptional game. I think it's going to be a great day. And I feel like Nebraska baseball plays better when Haymarket is packed. And it's a tough environment to play at. So for Iowa, they got to find a way to settle back down for this Husker team. You don't change a thing. You show up to the ballpark with your head held high, feeling confident, and you just go and ball out.
And yeah, like you mentioned, 70,000, over 70,000 fans yesterday on a Friday night. I mean, like I said, this is a busy time of year. It's finals week going on at the university. Commencement ceremonies happening today, not only at the college, but you also have some this weekend for high schools around the area, not only just in Lincoln, but across the entire state. Graduation season, the grad parties going on. I got invited to a couple later tonight. That's just what happens. It comes up and you have to kind of put it on your back burner and what's going on. You obviously have your life outside of that. And there's a chance to watch Nebraska baseball on a very good weekend where the weather cooperates. We've had a couple of good ones, but I mean, regardless,
a lot of bad ones.
A lot of bad ones. Like the USC one we mentioned a couple Fridays ago where Nebraska won that game and it come from behind fashion. It was like 50 degrees, windy and cold. And by the end of that game around 10 o'clock, it was in the 30s. And still, that place was packed with 5,000, 6,000 fans. Like, it's not just a mantra where, Nebraska's got the best fans in the country. It's not just a saying, it's a thing. And I think having that kind of fan base there and potentially getting a regional, I mean, we can talk about that in the next segment as well. Potentially, what is a regional still? Call me crazy, but I think it's still up for grabs. You're going to need a little bit of help, potentially. We can talk about that on the other side of our break here in a bit. But this is a team where if you finish out the season sweeping Iowa, you handle Creighton again, which, I mean, that game, I'm expecting another one-run game, just how it's trending. Whenever they play, I know Creighton's not the best team in the world, but they had a crazy game this last week, extra inning walk-off win at home. And then you have Minnesota, and then you go in the Big Ten play, and you continue to handle business, maybe stack some wins. I don't know. I'm obviously not on the committee to make the selection for the regionals, but I still put Nebraska in that territory. They have some bad losses, yes, but I think every team in college baseball has bad losses. UCLA is having an incredible season, but most of the teams outside of them have had some pretty bad losses across the board. And Nebraska can just win the next 2 series and beat Creighton. I still think they have a very good chance not only to make some noise in the Big Ten tournament like they have in the past couple of years, but make some noise in the postseason as well.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska's still sitting, near the top of the Big Ten standings. And to be honest, I think this Nebraska team needs to, maybe they already are, maybe this was never a thing, but just get away from the hosting a regional talk. I mean, Nebraska was playing their best, brand of baseball during the entire, conference, play prior to this Ohio State series when that wasn't really even a thought. The thought was, yeah, this team is playing really well. They're ranked. We don't often see a Husker team that is consistently ranked in the top 25. And then, you had the talks of hosting a regional. You go up to Columbus. You have a really tough series there. There possibly is an opportunity for Nebraska to host if they dominate the rest of the regular season and then have a great showing in the Big Ten tournament. But for them, I think, maybe when the expectation of them hosting a regional went away, they dominate last night against Iowa. And you have to just take it one ball game at a time because, against Ohio State, you lose on Friday and go, oh, that doesn't help our regional host opportunity. You lose on Saturday. That doesn't help. You get swept. That really doesn't help. And then you just get back to, all right, let's just play baseball. And at the end of it, the rankings are going to come out and we'll see where we end up. But for Nebraska, I feel like when they have, nothing to lose and they just play ball, they're a top team in this conference and they can beat pretty much anyone.
Well, funny you mentioned that because I remember like the whole ticket, who gets the odds for the ticket? Do the donors get it? Do the season ticket holders? No, the season ticket holders, we talked about that. I think one of our interns clipped us talking about this. Ironically enough, I think it was last week we talked about it as a whole. And that old conversation comes up. And as a college athlete, I'm assuming you hear the outside noise. Like, how hard is it to block that out? Because as you played collegiate sports, I always wondered what it was like because you see the social media, you try to stay off of it because there's obviously it's not real life, but people are very loud on social media and you see it, everybody's got a cell phone these days and you pick it up and you see obviously the talk of it. Do you think that kind of comes to mind and you try to block out that noise? Because you have to have that kind of mindset going in just to block out everything that everybody else is saying, what the naysayers, because again, they're just people on social media. It's not people saying it to your face because most of those people sometimes don't say it to your face, but you're a college athlete trying to just be yourself and control what you can control. But you see that kind of stuff, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And, during my time at Portland, we were always, we were ranked second in the conference going to the conference tournament my 2 years there. And you always were checking other teams, seeing how they're doing, seeing, or did they lose? Does that move us up? Does that move us down? Different things that can happen. And for Nebraska, you really got to stay off Twitter. You got to stay off Facebook because, as passionate as Nebraska fans are, there's so many times where, I'll check the comments and they can be very negative. And I think the real Husker faithful are extremely supportive. They understand that these are collegiate athletes. And if you're bashing them, you probably have better things to do because, these athletes, they're not only grinding in the classroom, some guys on this Husker baseball team are graduating today and they're at the field, they're grinding it out. And then also they're spending so much time at the field in the weight room. And so as much as there is the outside noise, you realize that these people aren't there in the locker room with you. That's all that matters is the guys in the locker room. This Husker baseball team that, as much as the fans were upset about that sweep at Ohio State, I bet the locker room was a million times more upset than them. So it's about just, sticking with the guys that actually have control of the outcome of the game and just understanding that no matter, you can't control what people are going to say, what the fans are going to say. And it's just about, all right, we're going to get back into the weight room. We're going to get back to practice. We're going to fix this. And we saw it, on full display last night as a Husker team that can really bounce back.
And with that, I mean, they had to make that quick trip back from Columbus. You lose 3, and then you have to kind of weather the storm. And then they did it last night with a 10-0 win. First pitch at 2:00 down at Hawks Field at Haymarket Park. 1:30 for the senior day for those seniors for the Husker baseball team. But we're going to go to our first break of hour 2 of the Husker Diamond Report. On the other side, we'll talk about Nebraska baseball big picture with only a handful of regular season games left. We'll also talk about softball. They are playing right now, just finished the top of the second inning. We'll give you an update on what has happened so far at College Park, Maryland, between Nebraska and UCLA in the Big Ten softball championship game, which is going on right now on the Big Ten Network. We'll be right back. He's Tristan Gomes. I'm Nick Whyman. We'll be right back. 90.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is it time to replace your home comfort system? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important, though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing for a free estimate. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Right now in Lincoln, neighbors are facing hunger and homelessness, and they need our help. Your donation to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach for Give to Lincoln Day helps provide nutritious meals, safe shelter, and life-changing support. Your gift goes even further thanks to matching funds from the Lincoln Community Foundation. Working together, we can make our community stronger by ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious food and a safe place to sleep at night. Give to Matt Talbot today or anytime through May 28th at givetolincoln.com.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody. MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back
to the Husker Diamond Report, 94.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com special 2-hour edition. As we are here on a gorgeous Saturday in the capital city, 1040 O Street, as always. Nice, lively crowd here in the mill. Graduation day. Maybe you're walking by, need a coffee. Come say hi. Tristan and I are holding it down here, as always, on Saturdays. As I said, I'm biased, but Saturdays might be the best day of the ticket. I don't know. It's a fun time and just biased. But other thing else going on, Nebraska softball, as mentioned, they are already in the top of the third inning, playing in the Big Ten softball championship game. Obviously got moved up. Was supposed to start around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock Central Time, but got moved up due to impending weather that's happening in the DMV area. Nebraska losing right now 1-0, heading to the top half of the third inning. UCLA 1 run, 2 hits, and an error, or no errors, excuse me. And then Nebraska, no runs, no hits, and an error in that one. The only run scoring off a throwing error from pitcher to first base, which allowed one of those singles for UCLA to cross home plate. But Nebraska gets out of the inning with only 1 run so far. So, UCLA didn't score in the first inning for the first time this tournament. But currently leading in a low-scoring affair. And this is kind of what I expected it to be. The little things are going to go a long way in this game. We're a team where Nebraska makes the first mistake, but there's still a lot of ball getting played. Top of the third inning, 1-0 right now, and that's the first critical error. And that's DP mentioned it too. If you're going to play clean defense, you're going to win a lot of games, especially at this collegiate level between these two teams, because mistakes are going to go a long way in deciding the winner of this one.
Yeah, I mean, for this one, I think Nebraska did a great job. Jordy Fromm did a great job of bouncing back. You have runner on second, run just scored off your error, and you got no outs, and she finds a way to get out of that, just giving up 1. And for Nebraska, we've seen it so many times where it seems like they'll be in close games. I feel like against Rutgers, against Wisconsin, we saw this where they would start out down early into the game, and then you'd get to, the 4th or the 5th. At 6, and they would have just a huge big inning. So for Nebraska, I think it's just, staying composed, which they've done all season long, and for Jordy just to keep settling in the circle, and the lineup is going to find its way around. I think the bats are going to get hot, and, Jordy just starts off the third inning with a strikeout on 3 pitches. So she seems like she's settled in, and for this Husker softball team, it's just about keeping it here, and I think they're going to have a big inning soon.
And they've been able to weather the storm, like you mentioned, those games against Rutgers, against Iowa. You even go back to Penn State, where they're trailing for a couple innings and then blooping a blast, and all of a sudden they're in the lead. And especially in a game like this where it's a 1-run game and you get anybody in the order, maybe you get a bloop single, the next batter hits one over the fence. And then the long ball has been pretty reliable in the Big Ten conference tournament so far. So right now, 1 out, top of the third, UCLA leading 1-0. That one we'll keep you updated throughout the entire day as this one continues. As a lot of people have their eyeballs. We have people pulling up chairs here. Lincoln Youth Football is coming up next. I believe they're out here. We have a little watch party, I guess, in a sense. You love to see it. You love to see it. It's Husker softball, eyes on the sport, eyes on NCAA softball in general. Awesome to see. But we're going to stick with Husker baseball as they continue to go on. Big picture, only a handful of games left in regular season play. They got today at Iowa here in about under 90 minutes till first pitch in that one. Senior day festivities in under an hour. If you want to get out there, if you're heading down the Hawksfield Haymarket Park, you can go out and watch that one. 1:30 senior day activities going on, and then first pitch around 2 o'clock. And then tomorrow, the getaway day between Iowa and Nebraska, cap off that series before Nebraska stays in state, taking on the Creighton Blue Jays once again, playing at Charles Schwab in a very friendly confines for the Nebraska Cornhuskers baseball program. And then after that, wrap it up on the road to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which then will lead into Big Ten conference play right back at Omaha, where Nebraska plays their last in-state game of regular season play. So big picture, obviously, more than likely Nebraska to have any sense of being a 2 seed, any sense of potentially sneaking back into the 1. You need to handle business the rest of the way. The reason I say, Tristan, potentially getting a 16 seed, you look at the RPI, that's always the big marker and everything like that. But you look at the teams Nebraska's played. USC, they're number 18 right now. Nebraska has a sweep over them. You have Oregon. They're number 13 in the nation right now. Nebraska played them. You have UCLA, who Nebraska's yet to play yet, potentially could play them at the Big Ten tournament. You get a win over a team like that where they're having a historic season in a sense. They look like probably the favorite, but as you know, in college baseball, that doesn't mean anything unless you win in the postseason, which we'll see how the Bruins do then. And then you look at their non-conference. You played Auburn. Auburn's top 10 in the nation right now, potentially hosting a regional. Nebraska played them, beat them once, potentially an SEC conference champion in a couple weeks. Then you have Kansas, a team where Nebraska played them once coming in. Kansas was a team where, they're on the bubble. Well, they won that game. And then play them a couple weeks at their place in Lawrence. They sell out the crowd there in Kansas for the Jayhawks faithful. And Kansas is now a top 10 team in college baseball. They're having a Nebraska basketball resurgence of baseball down there in Lawrence. Maybe a Big 12 champion. Nebraska maybe had played the SEC conference champion potentially. I know there's a lot of really good teams in the SEC. You have potentially a Big 12 champion on your schedule, maybe. And then you have potentially playing 3 solid Big 10 teams on your schedule. Maybe one of those teams wins it. Maybe Nebraska wins the Big 10 championship. I think the teams to help them out, like a Kansas or an Auburn, if you say, hey, we played 2 of those teams, that's just how college sports are working. The NCAA tournament's expanding for basketball, and teams are saying, oh, we played these good teams. Why not? Nebraska has the chance to say, oh, look, we played the SEC champion. We played the Big 12 champion. And we played potentially a Big 10 champion. You play good teams, could help them out in the long run.
Yeah, 100%. I think for Nebraska baseball, you're, as much as you hate losing to those teams, you're kind of rooting for them now. Because let's say Auburn does win that SEC championship. You took one away from them on a Friday night. And then you take on, Kansas has a great showing in the Big 12 champion tournament. They possibly win that one. Then you are feeling pretty confident. I think for Nebraska, you just take one game at a time, looking at, from May 5th, the D1 baseball projected regionals. You're headed to Corvallis to take on an Oregon State team who just lost their Friday guy, Dax Whitney, who's one of the best pitchers in all of college baseball. So I think that favors Nebraska just a little bit more. And then you are right now looking at that 17 spot, is according to D1 baseball, Oregon State being the 15 seed hosting that regional. But for Nebraska, I think it would be great for them to possibly have to play Oregon again in the Big Ten tournament. You win that one. You possibly play UCLA. We saw Nebraska beat a UCLA team in the Big Ten championship last year. That team is a little bit different now. UCLA has been unbelievable. But if you can be the team that knocks off UCLA, the selection committee is going to be going, yeah, this Nebraska team played, the toughest teams in their conference, and they played some tough teams outside of their conference that also had a lot of success. So for Nebraska baseball, it's taking it one step at a time, but understanding that we are a really good team. The teams we've lost to are understandable losses. And then also you just have to take care of business today. And right now the bats are getting hot. If they can stay like this, you're feeling pretty good, because right now is the time to get hot.
Speaking of hot bats, we have some breaking news in the Big Ten softball championship. Megan Grant hits a moonshot to right center field, her 38th of the season, which is now the D1 NCAA single season home run record. I hate to break that in the middle of our conversation, but I saw we have it on in the studio here. We have it on outside for our guest here at the Mill in 93.7 The Ticket as well. And I saw the ball, saw her make contact. I said, oh, that's probably gone. And then I see the camera pan out to the outfield. I'm like, well, there it is. So there's that historic home run, UCLA leading 2-0. But yes, Nebraska has a chance with their resume potentially to be bolstered by other teams. And Nebraska can do it themselves. Let's say, I don't know what seed they're going to get in the Big Ten tournament or how it goes down, because obviously the top 4 teams get a first round bye. The 5 through 12 have to play in that double elim bracket. What if they play the gauntlet? What if they play in Oregon? What if they play USC? And then what if they play UCLA? What if they win all 3 of those games in a span? Because this is going to be where they're going to have a real test of pitching, real test of depth, where they're potentially playing those 3 teams in some shape or form. I mean, there are upsets as well, but you have to win 3 games in the Big Ten Conference in a span of 3 days. We're seeing the softball team try to do that now. How difficult that is. This baseball conference, it was a conference where we really didn't know how good the conference was coming into the year. We knew UCLA was going to be good. We knew Oregon was going to be solid. Nebraska, we figured, would have some kind of expectation coming in where you have a lot of returning players. You're 2-time defending conference champion, but you really didn't know what the conference was going to be. Now you add in a team like USC, who obviously is really good outside of the 3 games they had here in Lincoln. If Nebraska is able to stack wins in a row like that, that helps the resume in big time, and especially even if they don't host a regional. Potentially be a 2 seed in a regional and have a better draw, because you don't want to be drawing one of those top 10 teams, potentially a team you've played before, because sometimes it goes off a region. What if Nebraska's in that Kansas and has to play them again? Because I don't think Nebraska wants any chance with Kansas again, just based off of what's happened. You want a team you're maybe less familiar with because, I don't know, it feels a little better. Nebraska obviously had that region that one time they played Jack Caglione in Florida. That was a stacked when Florida was there. Oklahoma State down in Stillwater a couple years ago. Got a crack at Arkansas a couple years ago as well. But you want to play the best. And I think I'm excited where the next couple of weeks lead for Nebraska baseball, and the resume continue to get bolstered depending on what happens going forward.
Yeah, I think when it comes to regional play, is we still got a few weeks regular season, but I would prefer myself to play a team that you haven't played before.
Agreed.
And I think Nebraska probably feels the same way. And honestly, it's got to be a great experience when you go to a place you haven't played and you're playing some teams that you haven't seen all season long. And you're just going there and say, yeah, we just play our best brand of baseball. We're going to have some success here. And for Nebraska, I believe that they can hit with anyone in the country. You know, we didn't see it against Ohio State. That happens. But I think they have the ability to, you know, really dominate when it comes to the batter's box. But DP said it earlier, is pitching is what wins games. Defense is what wins games. And so I think for this Nebraska team, it's just making sure that your pitching staff is feeling confident. You know, we've seen a few changes to the starting rotation. I think at this point of the season, it's important for Nebraska and the coaching staff to kind of just, you know, go with what they got and say, this is what we're going to do. If Ty Horn has a good day today, I think you go, yeah, you're our Saturday guy. And if Blackwoods has a solid outing on Sunday, which he's been pretty consistent all season long, you go, all right, this is what we're going to do. And then you let the guys in the bullpen know, all right, this is kind of your role. This is when you should expect to come in, but also be ready to go whenever. Because once you get into regional play, anything can happen. There's been plenty of times in regionals where it is just a hit fest, a home run derby, and you have to really rely on your bullpen. And so for Nebraska, I'm confident in Carson Yasta taking that Friday role, but throughout the weekend, you have to, you know, be consistent. So I think it's just making sure guys know exactly what their role is in the pitching staff, and the lineup just continue to instill confidence in them and let them hit.
Game 2 of a 3-game set against Iowa starting in about hour and 15 minutes, coming up down at Hawksville Haymarket Park. Game 2 starting then. Game 3 tomorrow between the Hawkeyes and the Huskers as well for the final regular season matchup at home for the Cornhuskers. We're going to take our final break of the show before we hand it off to Lincoln Youth Football 101. Obviously, they're back. Yeah, last week had pretty good show. Yeah. The studio was full last week. It was cool to see that. When we come back, we're going to talk about the softball game. Yeah, we're in the middle of the game right now. We're about the halfway point, nearing that 4th inning. We'll talk about what we've seen so far and set the stage for the second half of that ball game. Nick Whyman, Tristan Gomes holding down 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward. Hey, thanks for helping. That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You should treat mom to some barbecue. At Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, we think award-winning moms deserve award-winning barbecue without having to lift a finger. We invite you and your family to gather around our table on Mother's Day for Hog Wild slow smoke favorites, or place an order to go online at gohogwild.com for a spring picnic where mom is the guest of honor. We look forward to seeing you this Mother's Day. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Husker Diamond Report. One more statement before we hand it off to Lincoln Youth Football 101. The guys are out there watching the game, just guys being dudes.
Yes, sir. That's what we do.
Just guys being dudes. I hope they can hear me talk about that. But they're coming up here in a matter of moments. They are also watching the Big Ten softball championship game in College Park, Maryland. Right now, UCLA holding a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning, but Nebraska has 2 runners on with 1 out. A chance to, a bloop and a blast, put one over the fence here. You got to lead 3-2. Wouldn't be the first time Nebraska has been able to
weather the storm after trailing early. And then, even if you get a base knock here, it's a 2-2-2 game like that. And of course, Jordy Fromm's up here. Curious what UCLA is going to do.
Looks like they're going to intentionally walk Jordy.
Smart.
I don't blame them.
But however, the next part of the order, like any of the 1 through 9 for Nebraska can hurt you. I think that's the biggest thing with Nebraska's lineup. Like, yes, Jordy Fromm is the face of the team. Like when I say Nebraska softball, you think Jordy Fromm right away. That's just most people will come to mind. However, there's 8 other players in the lineup who can step up in the big moment. And that's what makes this team so deadly at this time of year, especially when teams are, Nebraska's going to be a 1 seed and they're going to play a 4 seed who's going to be a smaller conference team. They might have a strategy to put Jordy on with nobody out. We've seen that happen in college baseball, college softball. I remember was it Adley Rutschman, Oregon State? They used to put him on.
Well, Adley Rutschman, yeah, he got the Barry Bonds treatment. With bases loaded, they would intentionally walk him.
And then, but the thing is that Oregon State team had multiple other players who could beat you. So
do you know why? Because they had to throw the pitches to intentionally walk Jordy there. In baseball, if you're the head coach, you just go to the umpire and say, put him on.
Well, I don't think they have that rule in softball, which I'm
curious why.
I get it. Maybe in softball, there is a chance. I always liked having the rule of throwing the 4 pitches because you still got to throw the pitches. And you potentially, we've seen it in major leagues, we've seen it in college, a throw goes awry.
Yeah.
Because some pitchers are not good at throwing pitch outs for some reason.
No, I think it's just they get the yips. There's been times even when, at practice, I think at Portland we would just practice pitch outs on a guy expecting him to steal. And some guys just had no control of it. They can throw a strike, but when they're told to throw a ball, which they throw balls all the time,
yes,
they can't do it, which is so interesting. But, and there's been a few times I remember Miguel Cabrera, there was an at-bat of him where they were trying to intentionally walk him, and he just got a nice little base hit to right field. I'm like, yeah, hitters hit.
Yeah, you got to be able to pound the zone. Hannah Core's capable of stepping up a big moment here. Obviously, 1 out, 2-0 UCLA leading. Base knock here. Even a ball in the gap. Jordy's capable of scoring from first. Got to make sure that ball gets down before you run. But this game is long over. I think this is a very fun game, compelling across. And I don't think we talked about how big this is for the sport, not just for Nebraska, not just UCLA. We asked DP about it for the sport in general, because we see it with college basketball, and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were going out with Iowa and LSU when that was such a big deal. Paige Beckers at UConn. Now you have this with Jordy Fromm against Megan Grant, two of the staples of NCAA softball, going at it toe-to-toe on a Saturday afternoon. Obviously, the schedule's pretty light right now in the sports world with the NBA and NHL playoffs kicking off later tonight. So this is a marquee game going on just for everybody to view. And if you are, obviously waiting for your favorite MLB team to play, like myself with the Royals tonight at 6 o'clock, you have this on the back burner ready to go and can get you through the couple hours before those games come up.
Yeah, I think this is exciting for just women's sports and then women's softball specifically. Nebraska softball, it just seems like Nebraska women's sports find ways to make unbelievable impacts in their respective sports. You see Nebraska volleyball, what they're doing, Nebraska softball having an unbelievable season led by 12 seniors, and you're in a big-time matchup right now. You got bases loaded, full count, 1 out. This is what you hope for as an athlete, Hannah Core up to bat. And so I think it's just exciting to have Nebraska sports just competing year in and year out for championships, and it's no better right now. So yeah, if you're checking out Husker softball, this is something you should have been watching all season long, but if you're just tuning in now, this is what you got to get excited for.
And the wind's blowing straight out to center field, basically left center field there. So potentially put one in the air. The wind can do its thing. 3-2 count pitch. Watching the game currently. A little collision at second base just happened live while we're watching. So a batter is out running to second base. Obviously with the ball. What a convenient thing. The ball gets hit right to second base. Second baseman collides with the runner. So that game will be going on if you're watching Big Ten Network. As always, 94.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Tristan and I will have you right after the end of the game.
Yes, sir.
Right here, as always, we'll talk about Husker softball. We'll talk about what's going forward because both these team seasons continue as the weeks progress. Coming up next, though, Lincoln Youth Football 101. They're back. Second show. They had a really lively crowd yesterday, a very good audience, and they're back here. They're watching the game. We got to get them back in here. They're really locked in the game. I think we just kept talking. I don't think they realized the time. So Lincoln Youth Football 101 come after that. Then we'll have Chopping Up with Chubbs potentially after that. And then me and Tristan will hold it down with the Husker Time Report special after the Big Ten Softball Championships. Don't go anywhere. 91.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.